There's a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.
You see, the only thing you've got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born.
Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I work for the Center for Transformational Leadership. I'm here today with a team supported by Sarah, all the way from Geneva, and Abigail, who is our Able Programs Manager, trying to get everybody to understand leadership. So we thank you. I believe Kofi will join us sometime in the process. So if you are already connected, we would encourage you to introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you are joining from, because we know that this is going to be very, very helpful to all of us. So we have the pleasure always to introduce you to the world. So please introduce yourself and let us start rolling. So this evening, let me see who is on. I know that so many people join and they don't introduce themselves. And whilst that is fine, we have the delight to introduce you to the world. So we encourage you to introduce yourself. For those of you who prefer to hide, kindly introduce yourself, because this evening we are going to talk about an important subject: information technology strategies for leaders. And this is an important subject in the view of the fact that the world has changed drastically in the last few decades. Technology has become key And as leaders, we need to understand the trends, we need to understand the issues, and more importantly, we need to understand how to develop strategies to be able to maximize the benefits that technology brings to us. As we publish in our communication, Mark Zuckerberg, who we must all know, says the biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risk. So as leaders, we're going to take risk. And if you don't take risk, then you are going to fail. John Chambers has said, quote, if you don't innovate fast, disrupt your industry, disrupt yourself, you will be left behind. This is the truth of what we are seeing in our world today. We cannot stay to say, well, I'm old school, I'm BBC, and I don't know technology, and yet become a good leader. In today's world, that is not an option. So introduce yourself as we get ready to introduce our guest. I can see Alex Kumi. Alex Kumi, I'm watching you from Volta region. God bless you for the good work. All right, so Kumi, Alexander, thank you for connecting. We have Douglas Amwate. Douglas from Tema, thank you. You always join on time. So we want to thank you. We know others are connected, but they prefer to not introduce themselves, but that's fine. Whether introduce yourself now or later, we will introduce you to the world. I see Ebenezer Tufo says he's connecting from Abuja, and Ebenezer, thank you for connecting. So at this point, let me just share a few words about our speaker. Our speaker, for those of you who connect on the leadership platform, our speaker for this evening is not a stranger. On the platform, this is his second time, but he's also spoken on the Breakfast Club platform where we also partner. The speaker for this evening is Dr. David Boison. Dr. David King Boison is a consultant and a senior lecturer and head of procurement and logistic department at the Ghana Communication Technology University. And he's also a former manager of IT manager of Ghana Ports and Harbor. As a procurement and improvement automation consultant, he has for the past 6 years been responsible for providing leadership in process improvement, automation at the Ghana Ports and Harbors between 2012 and 2017. From a strategic point of view, he brings to the fore a strategic faith in business strategy and IT development. That is why we brought him here. He knows the IT, he knows strategy, he knows business. That's driving business vision with technology. From the IT perspective, he has been involved in the formulation of policy to support the implementation of new systems. He has a very strong research background and is deeply involved in IT research with a high interest in optimization, stimulation, and big data analytics. He has extensive experience in IT and supply chain. Now, Dr. Boison is, as we have said, is a senior lecturer at the Ghana Telecoms University. And in that capacity, he also provides, he's a lecturer on the Coventry, CAS, Europe, and Staffordshire, and University of West Scotland transnational masters and PhD programs in supply chain management, operations management, occupation, and health and safety. There's so much about Dr. Boison that you can learn. You can go on our website. He holds a Bachelor of Business Administration in Accounting with first-class honors, MSc in supply chain, supply management, and with distinction. He was the best student, and MSc with management information systems, also with distinction. He holds a doctorate degree in business administration, supply chain management options with CAS France Business School. He was the concept developer and implementer of the port automation system, now called the paperless port system, at the Ghana ports and harbors. And from this, he's won a number of awards, which includes the best port in management information system in West and Central Africa, best enterprise in Africa in 2016, best transport port in Africa and Asia. And he has also presented award-winning paper, the best paper in the category of World Review of Business Research, optimizing uses of seaport and berthing space. All right. So there's so much we can say about Dr. Boison, but at this point, it is his turn to present to us strategies, IT strategies for leaders. And you do well to pay attention because Dr. Boison is loaded ideas. Dr. Boison, thank you so much. You are very welcome to the Leadership Platform again and again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. And can you see the screen, sir? Hello, can you see the screen, sir?
Yes, we can see the screen. Perfect.
All right, so thank you so much for the opportunity. I think I have 30 minutes to do this presentation. And most of these presentation I've done, I think this is about the third time. I keep this slide, and this is so dear to me. And it's important that we contextualize what we are doing. Now, what we are going to talk about, which relates to strategies for IT guys, that is information technology strategy for leaders. I mean, it borders on change. And our host has just told us that the world we live in changes every day. And we change as people and we change as organizations. And the way we respond to change is going to determine whether we will survive, whether we will thrive, or we will fade away. Now, so you have these two guys. One, as we know, John F. Kennedy from the U.S., and then Winston Churchill from the UK. And John F. Kennedy said something. He said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past and present are certainly going to miss the future." And then we have Winston Churchill saying that to improve is to change, and to be perfect is to change often. So what we're going to discuss is within the context of change. And I captioned this, do we have to care? And that is a question for the young leaders coming up. Do we have to care? Because we're living in a world where things keep changing. We in 2020, we witnessed a serious pandemic, which was COVID. And prior to that, somewhere in 2012 or so, there was this another plague that hit the world. It is believed that every 10 years something happens. Okay, so COVID hit us. We were all not ready to go on virtual, but we were forced to move to virtual because we had no option. The virus forced every industry to move into the virtual world. And the virtual world has come to stay. So I'm asking a question that, do we have to care? Because today we have smart, devices. We have smart cities, automation. We have artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data analytics, a number of, technological advancements and tools that are being used today to do very serious things. This is changing the trajectory, and it's changing business, it's changing industry, and it's forcing us into a certain ecosystem. So I asked a question, do we have to care? And at the end of the presentation, maybe we'll answer. So why do we need to change? All these technologies I talk about, smart automation, we have artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, autonomous driving, blockchain. These are all types of technologies, all right, that are in vogue now. They are in force now, and it's predicted that by somewhere in 2050, there's going to be a serious explosion and the environment is going to change. But what is happening now from 2020 to now and to 2025, probably to 2030, the industry is being hit by these technologies. And interestingly, some industries have adapted, so they are changing. So if you look at industry and education, our educational system, maybe at this side of the continent, have not changed massively. People are still living in brick and mortar, all right? And that is really creating that gap that we have. So look at industry. Industry is moving. This is a deep, arrow showing that industry is responding to these changes. Things are changing in industry. But then our educational system has a problem. It has still not felt that impact, and that is creating serious skills gap. So the issue of unemployment is not because there are not jobs to be done or people don't have jobs. It's really the fact that the kind of skill sets industry needs now are unavailable. That the kind of educational system that we have and the degrees and the diplomas and whatever we are churning out is not really helping. You will not fit into the industry. Let me give you a typical example. Today, we don't keep, ledger books where we have in accounting, you debit the receiver and credit the giver. We know in accounting, there should be a left that is debit and right credit. You write your T account and put it there. Now, today, you don't need an accountant to do that because there's a software. In the software, there's no right and left. It's just data entry. And the system itself will take advantage of that, prepare, whilst you're entering the daily transactions, the journals and whatever, the system prepares the trading profit and loss account and balance sheet and notes to the account. It goes ahead to do some sort of analysis, the ratios and all that, and with the help of artificial intelligence, do some sort of projection to tell you that the fact that you have your current ratio at a certain margin, it means that it falls below the industry standard. And so the company is doing well or not doing well. Those times you need a chartered accountant to do these things for you. But today, at just a click of a button, a system is doing that to the extent that people are preparing daily trading profit and loss accounts. So if we are now teaching debit the receiver and credit the giver with T account in the classroom, then what is likely to happen? We are going to churn out, degree holders or master's degree holders who cannot fit in the industry. So that is really the problem. So how do we fix that? Okay. Now, let me show you some projections for 2050, right? Now, the world's first artificial general intelligence is to be launched in 2050. There is about 10 to 20 years research going on. What is it going to happen? What are we seeing that this is going to churn out? We are going to have what the artificial intelligence we have today, and let me explain artificial intelligence. It mines on big data, okay? And through deep learning and machine learning, is able to take some sort of attributes and then learn in the system and then use that for serious analytics. And they've been able to download the human brain into, a system to be able to do that so that it thinks like what a human being. And these things started when we're doing HR, we're doing, information, HR information. It went throughout to a form of system thinking, and then we try to keep these human beings there in the organization, the expert. We try to keep their data in a certain manner. All of a sudden, that data with this innovation was then translated, okay, into what we call big data. And now artificial intelligence is taking, the attribute of human beings to mine this data to think in a way that human beings think. That's why we talk about this artificial intelligence. And what we have is an AI, artificial intelligence, specific to particular disciplines, a particular discipline. Like you have an AI for supply chain, AI for maybe medicine, and AI for other areas. But in 2050, we are looking at artificial general intelligence. Okay, and we are almost there. What is it going to happen? This will be able to, you'll be able to use the power of artificial general intelligence to predict intentional creativity. Intentional creativity. This same tool can help in strategic thinking, even emotions. If I talk to you and you do some sort of expression in your face, you express something in your face, I'm able to know how that expression, these emojis you see, but the way you express it, that emotion, the AI is able to know that you are angry, you are happy, or you are dissatisfied. That is something that is being done. Causal reasoning, okay? Reasoning that is causal, that leads to something. All these things, you have artificial general intelligence doing that. Common sense, can you imagine? Common sense, counterfactual thinking. When you get disappointed, what you expected to do or what you thought to do, you didn't get it. And then consciousness. When once receive consciousness, this artificial general intelligence is able to predict that. Can you just imagine? So the immediate use case is to have a self-aware AI that institution can consult to solve problems that were previously thought as impossible. So that is where we are going. And that is why we need to change. We need to adapt. Now, another use case of AI is to advance humanoids, robots that can handle a variety of situations in the real world. Guys, let me let you know that the film you watch was made, robots, maybe a decade ago. They knew this. They knew this. And if you watch that film very well, and at a point in time, that robot that was created was now behaving like human and was asking that, are we going to have existential issues? To the extent that now they rebelled. Now, even the materials that are used to build this robot, there is a study that is being carried out to use flexible materials that will look like, this robot will look like human beings. All right. And what are they going to do? A number of things. Okay. They are going to act as what? Our assistants. Even we will end up having colleagues at our workplace who are robots. Can you just imagine? Who are our friends? Who are our colleagues? We are going to have robots who are going to be our nannies and robots who are also going to be, our companions. All because of the power of AI. The reason why we need to also change is that now cities are now becoming smart. And when we say smart cities, they are leveraging on big data and artificial intelligence to do so many things. Every device in the city, whether a building, whether a tool, everything has high IP. And IP is Internet Protocol. So you are having vehicles connected to a central network where terabytes of information are sent and received. Okay, road sensors, they are sent to road sensors, traffic light, and visual management boards. And with this, you're able to know the number of vehicles on the road. You're able to know whether there's a blockade somewhere, real-time information, weather patterns, state of emergency services, ambulance, and other things are all catered for. In other words, if there is a vehicle get crashed somewhere, there's an accident somewhere, we don't need to report to the police because there is a standby ambulance that will receive the signal that a vehicle has crashed, is involved in an accident here. So you will have to go pick up, or drones will be sent to those places. We have autonomous vehicles where they drive themselves, driverless vehicles, leveraging on 6G technology, and then AI, and then big data. And these vehicles constantly communicate with themselves. And that is to help the flow of traffic. So traffic issues are reduced because they drive within a certain band distance. Okay, issues of car parking, manual parking is a thing of the past. So because these vehicles are able to scan the system and even know which areas which parking lots are cheaper, and they can do that. So your vehicle can drop you off and pick you up at at an agreed time without recourse to any challenge. Okay, that is something that is coming. And that makes the future very challenging. And it's going to be challenging for those who will sit, for leaders who will sit and just watch this thing happen. So you have technology explosion that is going to go through every industry. I don't know which industry you find yourself. And these 14 technologies are, as we speak, are in force now. One, Internet of Things. We used to have Internet of People. What we are doing now is Internet of People, because I need to sit behind my laptop and then connect to you, or probably on my mobile phone. But here we are talking about things that are talking. That every device you have in your house has what? An Internet Protocol, address, which we call IP address, that you can communicate to. So you can communicate to your iron, communicate to your gas cooker, communicate to your wardrobe, communicate to every device you have there in your house. And everything can be automated. So Internet of Things have come to stay, leveraging on what? Big data to make intelligent decisions. We have artificial intelligence, which is the bedrock of all that we are talking about. Another one is renewable energy. We are depleting the ecosystem, okay? And we are facing existential problems. And it is believed, in fact, that is what is happening. Those advanced countries have already started developing the other planets, and they have started planting, crops. We'll be here one day, they will leave us here and go there. They are doing this with the use of technology. Cybersecurity is going to be one of the leading technologies, because everything we'll be doing will be based on the internet. And those fraudsters and those who hack these systems, they will be there. So there will be strong presence of what cybersecurity. And so it's an area that leaders can look into. And there are people who did other courses, but now have moved into cybersecurity. Genomics is another technology, and we are talking about the DNA. This is being used to do so many things. A genomic is an organism's complete set of DNA, including all of its genes, as well as its hierarchical three-dimensional structural configuration. So we are in that now. Drones. When I was at the port, there was a project where I was using drone. I was going to use drone for maritime security. I procured the drones. It didn't arrive when I left, but I hear they are doing that. But what was it to be used for? Was to use to monitor vessels when they come to the anchorage, so that we don't need patrol boats to go. We did that estimation, and because I'm a system optimization expert, what I did is that I took like a whole year full cost of patrol, and then I juxtaposed it with what? Using the drone. And the drone was a Penguin C drone that was about 30 nautical miles. I mean, we measure in terms of distance on the sea, we use nautical miles. And that is like flying a drone from somewhere in Tema and extending to somewhere in Kasua. That was the coverage. And anytime they discover any object anywhere, you have about 4 precision drones that have a PA system on it. Now, we've been given that fly part, the permit by aviation, and also linked up with the Navy. So whilst you have the PA system on, once we see anything, any threat, this precision drone within 30 seconds can travel like a kilometer and then gets there. And what it's going to do is that the naval guys are going to have a big screen where they sit, and they will see a full view of what is happening, and they will cause the arrest by announcing that those people should, put all their arms down. Because by then, there will be other patrol boats that will be on alert to make sure these guys are clamped down. And that's what technology is. Drones are being used now for so many things, okay? In delivering, we use drones in delivering, hospital medicines. We have used drones to do so many things. Now, even in journalism, drones are used. And even those who are in the media are using drones also for a number of things. Robotics is also in force now. Virtual reality, nanotechnology, big one. Sharing economy. Today, Airbnb. Uber people they bought Uber and they share and they pay. Okay, people are now sharing their rooms, and then this issue about property ownership will be a thing of the past. You don't need so much money to own a property, and they are using very complex apps. When you go on your Play App Store, you see there to make this thing a reality. E-learning, I'm going to tell you, I'll show you something about e-learning. But e-learning is becoming big now. The universities who thought that brick and mortar will stay for long, they should know that it's going to reduce drastically. Because today, you can host close to about 100,000 people online, which either way, either through, if it was a campus, you know the kind of investment you have to put in to build 100,000 auditorium for people to sit in, but that is possible virtually. Now, big data is everything now. What is big data? It just means data that is big. Now, to tell you now, those of you who don't know, data is now more expensive than gold and than oil. Those who lead the world are those who have access to big data. And this is able to help them to make real-time decisions. And these decisions that they make because of the analytics is almost close to reality. The margin of error is insignificant. And then we have 3D printers. It's these 3D printers that they are using to print this artificial kidney, that they can even look at you as you stand in your bulkness, and then use 3D printer to print a human being like you. They can easily do that. And that is also invoked now. And the almighty blockchain, technology, okay, that looks at how to leverages on what we call cryptocurrency to do so many things. The security level of blockchain is very high. You have countries like Estonia, you have Dubai, who are the whole country is going to be on smart city, and the bedrock of this is what? Blockchain. And that is amazing. Okay, that is very amazing. And we say that blockchain is immutable and provide efficient what? Security. So this is an example of a blockchain model that, this paper has been published at the port. So we are saying that with blockchain, we are safe. Okay. I don't want to take you through this, but this is an example. Now, what about our public procurement, issues where there are leakages and other things? We can build a blockchain, leverage on blockchain to build a system that will not allow even those who are to do the evaluation, that the suppliers will know who they are, because there's a pool of expertise. Experts who are a pool that expertise are put in, and then there's a certain criteria that the system used to select them. So when you are there and there's a tender document that falls in, you do your assessment, no one is going to see, and then you post it on the system, and it's a decentralized database, so everybody is going to see it. So you would know who is who to be able to influence that person. This technology is possible. Now, I was talking about e-learning. Just to let you know, now the top 10 instructors make a net worth of 17 million a year on online courses, e-learning. And in 2025, they are estimating 319 billion. That's serious. That is online learning. So those who are using brick and mortar would have to raisen up, because as we said, the world is changing each day and each day and each day. If you are not interested, you die. I did some couple of work. Somebody asked me to do something on the occupational health and safety. Did it in 2020, put it somewhere, just wanted students to have access. So I just put it on YouTube. Guess what? By the time I checked, there was a discussion and I wanted to go there and check. When I checked, I already had 28,000. In just 1 week, when I created more visibility for it, 1,000 people joined. Can you just imagine? 29,566 views since it was published. Tell me that if we can have such people, this number of people in an auditorium, and see what happened. Somebody said that, thank you, sir, I followed this course and I passed a master's degree examination. He's somewhere, went on YouTube, saw this material, use it. Another professor in US said, I'm an occupational safety and health professional in US. I recently began studying what other nations are doing to protect workers from workplace hazard. Great intro video. I like how you called out employees' responsibility. Too many times, safety professionals focus on management. And another one, this is what broke me down. Here again, a perfect example showing that those who think that they are smarter than people coming from Africa or Afro descendants just because they have white color are really wrong and stupid. And this is what he says. I'm a student from Ukraine University, have this course in this semester. Unfortunately, the lecturer can't lecture, but send this link of this wonderful video explaining everything like it was doing it to children. Thank you, doctor. Let me tell you one secret. This course was not my area. So that was the first time I handled it. But see the response that is coming. And it's just because it was online. Today, I can connect to these people. Now, business leaders find themselves in this web. So what are the strategies? And if you see the arrow, the arrow are really pointing to them. That is pressure on them. And you have no way out to escape from this web. So what are they supposed to do? The only strategy now is to take a course in AI. Take a course in data science. Take a course in big data analytics, artificial intelligence. Any leader here, whether you are in medicine, whether you are in anthropology, whether you are in whatever discipline, you should know that the game has changed. Now, data science, AI, big data analytics, artificial intelligence are basic skills that every leader needs, because that is what is driving the industry. Now, this is coming out with a lot of opportunities. We are going to have more trade as a result of this explosion. We are going to have more markets. We are going to have more businesses, more information, more jobs, more opportunities. Of course, these jobs are jobs that are linked to these, tools that are being deployed. There are more opportunities. Now listen, this is the promise of the globalized world. This is the promise of the globalized world. The tide of globalization has already brought considerable wealth to areas of the world long accustomed to only poverty, and even more wealth to areas that were doing quite well already. So the opportunities are there, and all we need to do is to do that. Now, this is actually what is happening to us. Our business is that guy, and this is what technology is doing to us. And we don't need to fight. We need to just face the challenges. Charles Darwin once said that it is not the strongest among the species that survived when there was this big bang thing that they were talking about. That it was believed that there was this, round something where it looks like fossil, and then it got burst, and then we all, evolved from that. Whether it was true or not, that's a different matter. Okay? But he's saying that when there was that flood, and then it appeared that all the animals died, he's saying that it was not the strongest among the species that survived, nor was it the most intelligent, but it was those that were adaptive to change. So the first strategy for a leader to take that lead in this technological drive and explosion is to have that mindset to change, because the dynamics have changed. Do we have an option? Do we have an option? Can we do with this technological explosion and disruption? Yes, we can. You want to know what you can do? We can. It's yes. And there are two things. Either we die or live with the pain of failing to adapt. If we think we can do without it, there are two things. One is that you go into extinction, you're no more, or live with the pain of failing to what? Adapt. Because whatever we do, this will happen. To end this presentation, I want to just say this. We can win. We can win in this. Let me tell you, the next generation of leaders who are going to be the billionaires are the ones that will pay particular attention to this technological craze or the drive. So I say let's win in the digital age. Senshi Oshiba is a karate and is a master of kung fu. The films that we have watched, this Chinese film and Japanese films, you have never seen any kung fu master that has been beaten, right? And this is what he says. He said, those who are skilled in combat do not become angered. And those who are skilled at winning do not become afraid. Thus, the wise win before the fight, while the ignorant fight to win. May we win this technological fight. May we never fight to win. Thank you so much. And Senior Ayim, you can take it over.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Doc. That was indeed very, very powerful. Now, Doc, I just have a few comments before we go on to see who is talking. Now, these changes that you have talked about really look very dramatic. From where you sit, what are African businesses doing in preparation for this? What is the evidence? What are we doing?
So um, I can take it from Paul Kagame's country.
Yes.
I mean, there's quite a lot of things that is going on. To be very honest, maybe I have to say it for the first time, Ghana since 2020 is leading in the digital markets in Africa, right? And that is huge. In other words, mobile phone penetration is at the peak. All right. There are a lot of things that is happening. There are tech guys who are doing crazy things, but not on the scale that we expect. There are a number of guys who are going into artificial intelligence and all that, but not at the scale that we are. You know, this Ghanaian that did that earpiece that can translate a number of languages, around the world. This is leveraging on artificial intelligence to do something very powerful, using an existing device, which is the earpiece, to do that. So there are known Ghanaians who are doing things across, the globe, who are leveraging on some of these technologies. I think the problem we've had is that Mark Zuckerberg was a creation of a deliberate or intentional creation. When they saw that he had that talent, okay, the support was there to make sure this works. That support is what we don't have from our government here, okay? But if we do, I can tell you there will be more Elon Musk in Africa, because even with this mobile, technology, it is not pronounced in the most of the countries, like mobile money, all right, it's being used here. There are more fintech, technologies that is happening on the African, market, which are huge, what is not happening in Europe, and they have not gotten to that stage, okay? But even though there are a number of advancements that they've done. So there are a number of things going on. So maybe what we have to do is that we have to deliberately create people. We can deliberately create those who have that, talent. We can create them. And if we don't do that, we're going to lose out, because when I saw the 2050, vision, I become a little bit scared. And I can tell you, as we speak now, I'm enrolling I have my PhD, all right. I have my master's in management information system. I've done big data and all that, blockchain, but I'm going to data science and mining, okay? And I want to see how I can leverage on artificial intelligence to do so many things, because that's the future. And if we are not very careful, we're going to cloud ourselves. So this country is on a certain pedestal, which is good. Most of the African countries, like Paul Gigame's country, they are doing well. South Africa has tried as much as possible to eliminate cash payment of cash in the system, purely gone paperless, that you can use your ATM anywhere you go. You can use it. Some other countries are also catching up. But the point is that we have not positioned ourselves as a continent to really create heroes that will lead this technological change. Because you can talk about Mark Zuckerberg, you can talk about Bill Gates. There are people you can mention in the US. In China, there are people you can, Jack Ma and others, you can mention them. But in Africa, we don't really have these giants in there, because there's no deliberate strategy to create, that kind of heroes amongst us.
So where do we start from? Is it the government? Is it individuals like you, private businesses, or is it our academic system? Because still today, most of our high learning institutions, I don't know of yours, maybe you should tell us. I'm not sure if the discussion is at this level. I'm talking to graduates who have finished university in IT, so-called, and they have not seen computers. They have not, today, I'm talking today. All those things that they were reading theories in some books, they don't have it. So where do we start from?
I think what we need to do is I did something I think within this week with Accra Technical University, and I was sharing with the lecturers that there should be a whole overhaul of our educational system, because the idea of even having degree for 3 years is long, I mean, overdue. There are institutions that are running a year and 2 years degree program because the pace at which technology is moving, by the time you finish those syllables, technology is gone ahead. So it has to start with the institution. Lecturers would have to, be given some sort of training, capacity building, okay, to be able to allow what they're doing. There shouldn't be any course that you do without integrating, technology. That is going to be very, very, dangerous if we don't really do that. We should be able to integrate technology into it. So our educational system, the structure has to change. Honestly, it has to change. And I believe that you are asking what role that can we play. There are a number of things we are doing behind the scene. And when I got into academia, I'm a purely industry person. When I got in academia, what I was doing was, as much as possible, bridging theory and also practice. So, for instance, a lady that recently won something in as one of the emerging women in procurement and supply chain for, I think last year, 2021. He works with the coastal development, Jennifer also. One thing she told me, he said, Dr. Boison, you taught us lane operations. As part of our syllabus, we're not supposed to do Microsoft Visual, but you taught us Microsoft Visual, that is IT, how to do process modeling using Microsoft Visual. Do you know that that was what the lady used to document all the processes in her department, for which reason they did so well that, she won that award. So it was actually not what I taught. It was that technological, bit that I introduced in the course that gave her the leverage. So every course we do today should align with technology, and we should move from teaching with PowerPoint and just slides and reading to students to really going to use cases, okay, and then asking the student to do something hands-on. So, for instance, when I was teaching, I said, let's do visual. I went online. I went onto my laptop, open visual, make sure they all installed. Whatever I did, I asked them to do the same thing. I related so that they could move from the lecture hall when they are done and then do what they are expected to do. That is what is missing in our educational system now. So the leaders themselves who are leading us need that reorientation, because once the leaders do not see that vision, it becomes an issue. So our educational system should be overhauled. We have to recreate it, with these new trends. Other than that, when people are not getting work to do, senior, you know what happens? It becomes a national security issue. And if you are not very careful, what it will lead to, we wouldn't like it in the future.
Great. Let me bring Sarah just in case she has some questions. Then we'll go to our audience. I see so many people joining. We'll go back to our audience. Please put down your questions in the chat and we will read them. Put your comments, your takeaways, write them in the comments, and we would read them to Dr. Boison to address them. All right, Sarah, I wonder if you have any.
Yes, thank you so much for this great presentation. I mean, some of us leaders are really not technical savvy. Where do we start? I know you said we should take short courses. What short courses would you recommend for those of us who are really not in that sphere to really start engaging in this new trend of this new wave that is going to.
Okay.
That's my first question. Let me give you Yes. My
Okay.
second question is that I'll just refer to our Ghanaian society. Is that not even our Ghanaians, but even the youngsters, the young people in most of the countries have finished their education and they have no jobs to go to. How can we use this technology, or how can we have them look at technology as a way out of this dilemma of finishing education and come out with no jobs after you've invested so much money into educating them?
Okay, so to take the second one, the later, when you have finished, if you finish your degree program, and probably what you did, I'm into procurement, so procurement and logistics or supply chain, and you get to know that, okay, now whatever jobs that come in, they are asking that, do you have proficiency in Excel or Microsoft Visio, or they are asking any bespoke application, maybe QuickBooks, or when they ask this, these things begin to, even if they don't ask, during the interview, these things might come up. Because today, you don't have bin cards that you're going to use, or you don't have papers that you're going to write on. I mean, they're going to put a machine in front of you. So what I want to advise is that these folks should, upskill themselves by learning basic. If you have finished school and you don't do anything, this is straight up. Go on YouTube. There are, courses, free online courses on Microsoft Essentials. Microsoft Essentials. And it starts with what? Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, then Microsoft PowerPoint. These three applications, forget about Access. Access is more of data pay. These three applications, if you're able to do the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, to tell you the truth, you can easily be employed when they know you have this skill and what you can use it for. But most people would not want to do the self-study, but so it becomes an issue. So that is one. The other thing is that there are short courses online, digital marketing. Somebody says that I'm into medicine. What do I need digital marketing to do? Are you not going to be online? Right? Are you not going to be online? Are you not sharing something on Facebook? Are you not sharing something on WhatsApp? Or are you not tweeting or using LinkedIn? If you're doing that, then you need this digital marketing, because it's using social media marketing to sell yourself. Even if you don't have any product, you are the product. You want to present yourself, so you sell yourself. So they need that. And more importantly, what I said is that you also need, a course in artificial intelligence. Basic, to understand what even artificial intelligence is. Okay, so if you go for an interview and they ask you what is AI, and the company is using AI and don't have any idea, how do you fit in? Then that becomes what? A problem. So this one answers the letter question, and then what you said, how do I start? I want us to do something. You are online, right?
That's
I want
correct.
you to post on the comments something. Send me a message with my name. I want us to be very practical so that they will see. So send me a message.
All right. I have to send it to you privately, and then I'll have Kofi and Abigail post it. So,
okay, that is fine.
Yeah. So let's say hello.
So somebody say, Dr. Boison. Right. So let me ask the question. How did you do this? How did you type this? How were you able to do this? How were you able to type this thing there? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I typed it on the computer.
You type it on the computer?
Yes.
So if you had your phone, you would have typed it on the phone.
That's right.
Yes.
So anybody who can send a message qualifies to take any course in computing, in AI.
Okay.
There's the fear that, it is complicated. But once you can just pick up a phone and send a message, all right, you qualify.
All right. But what about
Okay.
those of us who do not know how to type or whatever? Can we?
Can that person make a call?
Yes, voicemail.
So if that person can make a call,
Yes.
then that person is qualified.
All right.
So the only person who will have a problem is the person who hasn't touched a phone before. So let's remove this fear from us. We think that this is too complicated. It is not. At first, it used to be. Today, because of more advanced tools, you could do so many things. Even creating a website, there are preset templates that you can say, go next, type your distance, and then you create a website for yourself. But what I see is that there's the fear that is really dragging us back. But we should turn that fear rather into opportunities.
Yes, I can see that. But you did talk about smart cities as well. And I'm wondering, with the current situation that we have in Accra when it rains, what can we do as leaders to solve this situation? Because it's an opportunity to solve this problem once and for all.
Madam,
What
the
are
interesting
leaders
thing,
waiting for?
no, you see, when COVID happened, what did we do? When COVID happened, what did we do? We had no option, right?
Yes.
If you were the type that didn't like to go online, you were forced to go online.
That's correct.
So the kind of turmoil we find ourselves in when technology in the next 5-10 years, either you make your city smart or you are not part of the global economy. That's what is going to happen. That actually, so it is not a matter of a choice where the leaders should be begged to do that. No. It's a necessity for survival now. Other than that, your economy is going to crash.
Wow.
So that is where we find ourselves. Yesterday, I was with one top government officials and we're discussing this. I was showing some models for smart city that we're looking for funding for to create the concept, that kind of national database and all that. And these things come. And I told him, see, where you find yourself, the only option you have is to lay down the strategies, lay down the foundation so that we can get there. What is very dangerous is that you don't change and then change changes you. That is it's going to be very terrible.
Okay, wonderful. And I can see in the comments over here. Oh, Sam, you're back. There's something from Isando.
Good.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, and Dr. Boison for the great responses. All right. So, Sarah, you come back and help us with the comments. Let's see what Abigail has for now.
You see, the only thing you got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born.
Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.
Well, thank you very much. Everybody who is connected this hour, we want to invite you that officially Live to Lead is open for this year. Live to Lead 2022 would be on October 7. And this year, myself and Sarah are joined together with Dr. Yao Pebi to bring to you Live to Lead on October 7th. We are putting together a very powerful local speakers together with these international speakers, and we're going to center around a team leading with integrity so you can grow yourself. So we want to encourage you from now to end of August. We are having the early bird offer for only 600 Ghana cedis. From end of August, it goes to the original price of 700 Ghana cedis. And so if Kofi is online, we'll encourage him to put the link in the chat box so that you can start registering. You can call me, you can contact us when you're ready, so you can register for Live to Lead. So please, from now to October 7, make some savings. This is the greatest day on the calendar, and we want to make sure this is a leadership day where we are going to bring you powerful speakers to address leadership issue, personal development issue, challenges of your life that you want to deal with. And this is your day. Those who have attended Live to Lead knows how powerful it is. So thank you so much, Doc. Whilst you take some rest, and we have some 20 something minutes, I will invite Sarah in to take us through the comments that are coming, and then we will come back to you to answer the questions that have come up. So everybody put in your comments, put your questions up, and let's.
Okay, thank you so much, Sam. And let me see. I see the first comment from Sami Isando, who says, so I had an incident with a company where Excel was used to solve the problems from A to Z. So, Doc, confirming just what you said, that's what Sammy was saying, that Excel was just what was asked. And then Charles Siame says, Dr. Boison, I'm very grateful for your open-minded and generosity. You are great. Charles, thank you for that comment. Let me move on to the next one. Albert Donko says, we either resolve or dissolve in this digital economy. Indeed. So either we become dinosaurs and we go extinct, or we have to adapt. Thank you so much, Albert. I don't see any comments. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let me see. Albert is also saying data science and fintech is taking over, as Dr. rightly said. I'm just going to go up the comment box and see
And
whether
Doris Atta is saying that corruption will end. I don't know if Doc is going to show us how corruption is going to end with this kind of technology. Yes, there may be some ways. So I think most of this. Now Adolfo says, thank you, sir, for this great presentation. Perfect delivery, says Samuel Richard. Sarah, you can pick up some of the others. And Ebenezer Niyama says, this is explosive.
it is explosive. It's mind blowing, Doc. I believe everybody is really thinking about how to handle this bomb that you have delivered to us. It's really explosive. Yes, I agree with that. And I can't begin to wrap my head myself around what we can do with this opportunity. It's a big opportunity. However, are we ready? And if we are not ready, what will make us ready?
All
And
right. And Doris Atta says, please, can I get a link to your AI company? Thanks. I don't know if Doc has an AI company. All right. So, Dr. Boyson, I don't know if you have any comments on the comments that have come before we continue.
So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to. I know this platform is very big. Anytime I speak on the platform, later I receive other invitations to do something. So I'm confessing for the first time. Anytime I come here, that's what happens. And to say that you are rather given the platform to create future leaders. And if this platform was not, if this topic was not treated here, probably we wouldn't know. I would have kept whatever I had in me, and I'll be a walking explosion. So it's good. It's good that you gave us the opportunity to do that. And what I'm actually doing instead is that I'll share probably that with you. I have a platform where I'm training the next generational leaders, and then teaching them what specifics to specifically to do. So those who have issues with employable skills, the session, these trainings are free training. So I mean, I'll share the link with Lawyer Yim, and they come on the platform. All you do is you upload your CV, and then you do a 30 seconds video introducing yourself, what you do. If you have any work you have done, and then you have evidence to it, you can upload that one as well. And I will give you specific, skill set training. What the Economic Forum, the 20 skill sets that employers need. We're going to train you through that. And then once you are done, then you become marketable, right? Then the other back end will be the global companies now feeding you, and then feed into our system, and then they will come for you. What we need to know, there's a university in Europe that anytime they graduate, you have Google, you have Amazon, you have Microsoft, who come to the graduation just to pick the students right from there. Because these are students who have the hands-on training. And that is what we want to do to bridge that skills gap. Okay, so very soon you'll see some of these links being shared across. Just take advantage of it. We are going to train you free and prepare you for the market. And then when those people come for you, they will pay us for, creating that skill set, because these skill sets are not available. I know some of you might have done one or two things, but how do we put it together? How do we get people who have that critical thinking skills that can solve problems themselves? So these things are not taught at school. And that's what we'll be doing, just to create, the next generational leaders.
Excellent.
Thank you, Doc. And I hope you will share the link later on, then we will share.
Yes,
But Chris was asking if you can recommend any course in AI to start with.
Or you can. Of course, there's a virtual university that is coming up, very soon, that deals with this data science and AI. But then maybe you can share my number with them. That we can, there are a number of AI courses, but you look at where it fits, what you need now, just to make that jump. Other than that, you'll be going into complexity. So that's a very good question he asked. So I would need to ask that person a question that, what is your field? Then we look at AI that is more, that will fit. So that, because in 2050, as we said, we are going to have a general AI. We are not there yet. So each discipline has its own AI. So when we get that, I think we can help in that direction.
Okay, so
all right. Thank you, Doc. Thank you so very much for that. I'll put your contact in the chat, in the comment section, so that those who are interested can contact Doc there as we go along. But for now, let's see if there is anybody. We have the link for registering for Live to Lead. So please go ahead and register for Live to Lead, and let's see you in October. Let me bring back Sarah. I don't know if she's still there.
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Sarah,
yes,
is there, Sarah, any comments?
yes, and
Any
I'll
more
say that,
comments?
yeah, leave to lead, don't come alone, come with your team, because this is a team effort. As you grow with your team, and as Doc is saying, when you come to the class, they teach a team of people. So come with your team, learn with your team, so that we will make the nation or the company or your business or your school great. So come with your team, please. And when you come with your team, we have special offers during this, what do you call it? Early bird. Contact Mr. Ayim, contact CTL, and you get a good discount for your team as well. Yeah,
All
and
right.
yeah, I think for Doc, we'll put Doc's contact details in the
Well, I've
post.
put it
Yeah,
in the comments.
okay. But
So,
when we post the videos online,
yes.
we'll have the details over there for.
All right.
But
Thank you so much.
let me just it's good that I talk about the Live to Lead program that is coming up. I think for the audience, you say it's 600 Ghana or 700 Ghana. I don't know whether
Yes.
you are doing a charity work here, but come on. We pay so much for some of these programs, to be very honest with you. And that's only what you have just said only shows that you are really building the next generation leaders, not actually looking at what goes. Because for some of these programs, the ones that I've watched, and the caliber of leaders that spoke on that platform, these are people that they pay like $5,000 an hour. So to bring them together to do this, I think that if you're on this platform, one of the things you can do, one of the value you can add to yourself is to attend this seminar, and then make sure you grab everything. There are people I know who attended such seminars, and this then just gave birth to a new person of them. They had a best version of themselves, and they were able to launch themselves into the world. So you need information, and that information that will lead you to that destination is what these leaders are going to give you. And if these leaders, some of them have had 20 years experience, 10 years experience, 15 years experience. Lawyer Im, I was a kid in the church, and we're all looking up to him. And you can know the vast experience that he has. So if he is compressing this in a 2-hour kind of thing, you are being given 20 years experience right on the spot. And I think you need to take advantage of it. And that's what I want to say.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that. All right. So, Sarah, if you have any more comments, I'm not seeing any questions.
No
We don't
question.
want to hold Doctor too long. If there's no more questions or comment from you, then we would ask Doc to give us his closing
Please,
remarks.
the number, I think that's a 7696296. I'm
Oh,
saying 8.
296. Okay, so
7696296. Yeah.
all right, 296. Oh, yes, that's correct. All right. I will correct that. All right, so let's give Doc opportunity to give us his closing remarks, and then we'll do the closing honors. Doc.
So just want to thank you, Senior, for the opportunity to be on this platform. But one guy said something which I want to end my keynote on. I don't know who he is, but I heard Sarah mention. He said either we resolve or we dissolve. And I think that is a very powerful statement. Either we resolve or we dissolve. So what I want to end by saying is that change is constant. And it's important that you don't wait till this explosion hits you. Many of the countries that waited and they were not ready to even go online, they were forced to go online when they were not ready. So they were ill prepared. And at the end of the day, that became very expensive. So 2030, 2040, 2050 is just far from today. And I've indicated that the next generational leaders, those who are going to be billionaires, are those who take decisions from today. And they will resolve that these strategies that we have enumerated, they will take them hook, line, and sinker and make sure they implement them. And if you do that, you will lead your generation at that time when we get there, when we are in full scale of this implementation of some of these things. And when they talk about unemployment, I mean, it will be a thing of the past because you will be handling the whole world in your palm. I want to thank you guys for your time. Senior Ayim, Lawyer Ayim, thank you so much. And Sarah, and then my other colleague, thank you so much for this platform. And please make sure you enroll for the Live to Lead program. I will personally be there to add value to myself, and I hope you will do the same. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Boison, for that. And thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Abigail. And more importantly, to all of you who joined, who joined the leadership platform this evening, we want to thank you greatly for being on the program. We appreciate you, and we encourage you to start registering right away for Live to Lead so you get the early bird chance to grow. All right, on that note, I want to thank all of you and wish you a very good night. Please, let's go to church tomorrow to thank God for our lives. God bless you. Good night.
You see, the only thing you got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born.
Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.